Hello everyone and welcome to another high-low game of Age of Empires. Today, Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet. But does anyone actually know what a tuffet is? Has anyone actually seen a tuffet in real life? Or are we all being lied to? And who, in fact, is this Little Miss Muffet? So while we ponder these questions of grave importance, we also sit down to watch MbL, playing as the Italians in orange, take on Hera, playing as the Armenians in blue. Now, while the players heard their herdables explore their immediate piggly-wiggly surroundings and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP, a good opportunity and time for us to take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today. And the Italians are a cost-cutting civilization. Their university techs are cheaper. Advancing to the next age is cheaper. Their gunpowder units are, you got it, cheaper as well. And using all of their saved resources, the Italians can actually field two unique units. The first is the Genoese crossbowman, a decent foot archer with a good attack bonus against cavalry, and the second is the Condottiero, a quick-moving tanky infantry unit with not only a massive attack bonus against gunpowder units, but also added bonus armor against certain gunpowder units. That'll make these units even tankier. On the field of battle, all Italian foot archers, except for their skirmishers and their Condottieri, can be upgraded to get extra armor, and starting in Imperial Age, you can train Condottieri out of your barracks. That happens automatically. No need to research Anarchy. No need to research Marauders. It just hits once you hit Imperial. Taking a look at the Armenians on the eastern shores of Arabia, primarily an infantry civilization. To start with, all Armenian infantry comes with extra line of sight and are available in Age earlier, which means Armenians have access to spearmen in the Dark Age, long swordsmen and pikemen in Feudal, and two-handed swordsmen, champions, and even halberdiers in the Castle Age. Now, these same infantry units, except for their spearman line, can be upgraded to get a big boost to their HP, and their first unique unit, the Warrior Priest, blurs the line between Man of War and Man of the Cloth, being an infantry unit that can actually heal friendly units and also gather these relics. Now, to support their slower-moving bipedal army on the battlefield, the Armenians, like the Italians, can field a second unique unit, and also like the Italians, this is an archer unit, except in this case, I'm referring to the Composite Bowman, a foot archer whose attack ignores the armor of all land units except for siege. Now, in order for the Armenians to get their military-industrial complex up and running as fast as possible, their first fortified church does receive a free relic. Their mule carts are 25% cheaper, and all mule cart technologies are 40% more effective, which means more productive Armenian miners and lumberjacks. These are, by the way, two civilizations we have seen recently not playing against one another, but on in various games. I believe in the last week, we've actually seen the Italians and we've actually seen the Armenians. We'll see how MbL decides to use this Mediterranean civilization. We'll see how Hera decides to use the Armenians. For now, he is pulling his second boar, wild as it is, as he gathers a few more berries. Both players at 15 villagers. Good time for us to take a look at their spawning location because, man, these are some pretty damn open bases. Primary gold and stone to the rear of the Italian base, so nice and secure. Speaking of nice and secure, I don't think I've ever seen a secondary gold pile this nice and safe. To the back, tertiary gold, a little bit off campus to the northeast, secondary stone, very, very far off campus. Basically a third of the way to Hera's base. Forests providing a decent amount of coverage to the front, but the flanks, the north and the south, pretty much completely open. Although to the rear, two big luscious forests, as well as one down here is... So MbL, probably not in any kind of jeopardy of running out of wood, especially if he walls off his base. Let's take a look at Hera, whose forward position completely exposed, but like MbL, primary gold, primary stone, nice and secure to the back, additional gold and stone very much to the front, and another pile of stone not too far away, actually. So not a terrible, terrible location for this, although is kind of exposed. Forests not very helpful, two of them to the rear, although he, like MbL, also has two forests to the rear, in addition to his already two forests to the rear. I'm going to stop saying two forests to the rear as MbL now discovers where his opponent is. It looks like Hera also, by the way, discovering where his opponent is at the exact same time, 7.5 minutes into the game. It looks like our Italian is going to be heading up to the next stage about half a minute, 35 seconds ahead of his opponent. Hera, oddly, has 10 seconds of TC idle time. And remember, the Italians, they do pay 15% less to go up to the next stage, so you don't need to get 500 food, you need 425, which usually explains why the Italians are quite quick to go up to Feudal Age from the Dark Age. We'll see what MbL decides to do. For now, Loom for his villagers, double bit axe for his lumberjacks. As he continues shroodling around the base, we'll see how much he wants to penetrate into this area. He knows where the town center generally is, although with the placement of this house and this wall off, he must know exactly where it is. Hera creating what looks like the beginnings of a wall off, and now has to run away, has to get that bush B. And MbL now sees the town center. Will he take any kind of town center fire? No, he does not. So yeah, he's gonna, okay, I was about to say he's gonna explore the nether regions of Hera's base, but of course he turns around. There's one little tiny dark spot that he didn't see that he just had to see. I mean, who among us would have left that little dot unexplored? And by the way, Hera sees this kind of forward interesting wall off to the north and the south of this forest. Rather, I should say to the northwest and the west of the forest, not exactly to the south. And forget your infantry advantage. It is our Italian who is moving out to the middle of the map with 2 spearmen at the exact same time. 2 Armenian spearmen are heading out towards him, and 2 villagers as well. He sees them, by the way, with a decent line of sight of the spearman line units. And so Hera, what's he going to do now? Okay, turns around. Surprise found out, surprise denied. No point in sending them, I guess, or so Hera believes. No point in sending them forward anymore, as his spearmen now chase. Okay, so Hera's returning home with everything but his 2 scouts. Good call. No reason, no real reason to bring those scouts home when your opponent's forwarding a few spearmen with their plus 15 attack bonus against your scouts. So no real point in risking them. We'll see. Hera for now, circling the south. Has explored, has been here before. Liked the food, and so is now returning to the Italian settlement. At the same time, our Armenian is getting pushed into by a few of these spearmen, but villagers with loom against Feudal Age spearmen should be a not too unfair fight. It seems like somebody did take a little bit of damage. Yeah, the horse, 18 HP, 3 for the attack, 15 for the bonus. This scout unit comes with no armor whatsoever. And now the spearmen are being annoying to the rear here, and 1 spearman for our Italian is enough to shoo away the entire cavalry force. Has he seen the ones to the south? No, he doesn't have vision that far. So, interestingly, both players deciding to open up spearmen, although Hera is now adding a foot archer as well, which should be pretty damn good against this 7 army composition of spearmen of his opponent, who, despite seeing this little wood cutting colony to the rear of the Armenian base, hasn't really been able to get too much accomplished with his units. Again, villagers with loom and spearmen of his own are enough to shoo this away. And the first kill of the game, first blood drawn by Hera at the 13.5-minute mark, as he now pushes into the rear of the base. 3 scouts, there is a spearman. He manages to get a villager. How did he do that and survive? Oh, he survived because look at the HP on these scouts as they now try to surround a villager. Looks like Hera is pushing this away. His HP is about 16 points above these 2 spearmen. So if they engage in a 1v1, oh no. Our Italian should not be engaging into this. Hera pulls away the weaker spearmen. And now I don't know. Will 1 spearman be able to 2v1? I'm not doing. Did he really need that little maneuver? I thought he was on the high ground. Never mind. He takes the equal ground. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, it looks like Orange's health bar just a tiny fraction behind. And all of a sudden, Hera is 4 kills to 0. And by the way, that includes that 1 villager we saw going down over here. Now, he is being chased away. I don't know that 3 scouts with 39 whole HP. 2 of them are 1 shot away from death. This one has 21 HP, so it would take 2 attacks from the spearman. So Hera's not taking the risk. Not exactly the Georgians, whose cavalry are regenerating HP, but if you can keep 3 units alive, how much scouting has he done? Has not explored the north, has not explored the south at all. And so probably will send those very injured scouts onto patrol duty, onto exploration duty, once he deals with this spearman, or at least feels confident that he's not going to run into the spearman. As another one moves forward, our Italian going literally counter composition to what he believes the Armenian is going to throw at him. Skirmishers for the archers, spearmen for the cavalry units. Unfortunately for him, his spearman gets discovered by the archers, and that is just not a fair fight at all. See it. Scouts can't really stick around too long, even against skirmishers. Now this guy's HP is down from 21 to 18, which means he too can get one-shotted by a spearman. So these are three very, very risky scouts to have out on the map. Hera has begun the wall-off process. 1, 2, forward base, and southern expansion as well, though this doesn't really seem fully walled off. So creating more of a funnel than a wall-off. Very, very weak starting scout from our Italian. Where the hell have you been for the last 15 minutes? Is returning home. He's going to try to help out, but not too sure what he's going to get accomplished. We'll see. As the chase begins, skirmishers are chasing archers. Cavalry units are going to try to close in on the skirmishers, but ooh, they do take a volley. 39 HP has been reduced to 32. So little by little, MbL is actually picking away at the HP here. Not really much archers are going to do against skirmishers. So as long as he can take down 1 or 2 of these scouts, any follow-up engagement from the skirmishers is going to be pretty damn good for him. It looks like he's doing a little bit of a loop-de-loop. Okay, he's tethered his spearman to the scout unit, his slowest moving unit to his quickest moving unit. Actually, second slowest. I think it still does move faster, yeah, than a skirmisher. And here we go, Hera. It's his turn to poke and prod and get a little bit of HP off these skirmishers. Both players, oh man, you gotta love Feudal Age Micro. Right as our Italian, boom, hits Castle Age a minute and 40 seconds ahead of his opponent immediately. 2 rear town center, 1 on stone, 1 on gold. Beautifully located, but a very interesting bow tie shaped settlement here for our Italian, who is not really making any effort to wall off the rear of his base. Hera looks like he is now completely walled off with that one exception, and holy moly, out come an entire band of merry men here. Robin Hood style army of 15 archers in 44 seconds. They're probably going to get upgraded to crossbows, although Hera's also investing in cavalry upgrades at the same time as he's getting fletching. And so his resource count is getting stretched very, very thin. What will MbL do with his advantage in Castle Age? He upgrades his skirmishers to elite skirmishers, and now he's getting wheelbarrow. So by the time Hera even just hits Castle Age, his opponent's going to have wheelbarrow. That being said, does Hera care? Where's that crossbow upgrade? There it is. Still 5 kills to 1. Still, these skirmishers continue to miss against these scouts. Actually, it's these scouts. Oh, man. They've taken even more damage. 25 HP as they park their asses next to a very friendly, very relaxed bear, who probably in real life would scare the shit out of those horses. They would neigh and whinny and run away. And in come the crossbows. They're getting bodkin as well. Town watch, very important. If you're going to ever turtle up like this, you need as much vision as possible. You do not want to get blindsided by an army attacking over here if you could have a few extra tiles of vision to help you prepare against it. And so Town Watch definitely going to come in a little bit handy now that the vision is expanded a little bit. And it gives him a little tiny edge of safety. A rear-facing town center for Hera. Forget the stone. Forget the gold. He is going after the wood and probably a lot of farming community. Although whatever farmer, whatever sad bastard is going to go farm over here, he's going to have to deal with a bear. But with a loom, probably not too big of an issue. Hera gets another kill with his knight. Rather, another kill that happened to be with a knight. I think the knight probably just has the one kill. Yep, now he is starting to lose crossbows, but kill count still firmly in his favor. And as long as the knight is here, those skirmishers are not in a good spot. They can try to take down as many of these crossbows as they'd like, but that knight is just going to absolutely wreck him unless he gets converted and becomes an Italian knight. Okay. Says, you know what? I like the climate of the Mediterranean a little bit better than the beautiful hilly mountains of Armenia, and so I'm just going to I'm going to join the Italians for a little bit. His former friends here say, we don't really think so. That's not exactly how treason works. And then they pump him full of crossbow bolts. Hera opting for the more risky stone compared to the more safe stone in the forward position here. Okay, I like this. By the way, he's got 2 army groups, one to the north composed of ridiculously weak scouts, and one to the south, which is trying to do some damage, but there's enough skirmish. I'm surprised he's not taking this fight. Where's the monk? The monks are pretty far away. Hera probably could have attacked this and gotten 1 or 2 more skirmishers if he wanted to. but he is starting to pump out army. He's down 11 villagers, but he's ahead 11 army count, which means they are both sitting at the exact same population, and a very aggressive fortified church here in the center of the map, beautifully placed next to a relic. I'm getting arena vibes right now from Hera, who tries to poke to the north as well, but runs into 3 monks. 4th is joining the party. Crossbow for skirmisher, never good for the crossbowman. And now Hera, where is he going to retreat to? He does not want to lead his opponent south because his opponent's going to discover that there's a fortified church. And by the way, remember the Armenian first fortified church comes with a free relic, which always changes the dynamic of a game. Now, all of a sudden, this map has 6 relics out on it. And by the way, every relic that's in a fortified church does add arrow fire, 1 arrow per relic. The little game of cat and mouse is continuing here. This is basically what we've been watching for the last 10 minutes. Skirmishers trying to evade cavalry while trying to close on the archer units. He does, unfortunately, our Italian, lose his monks in the forward position. How many does he have back home? 2 left. Training 1 more, which means Hera's attack should stall out right about now. Unless he tries to move in with the crossbows. Oh, a castle to deny. That is exactly why he went quickly on the stone. Is he expecting cavalry that he's building a castle? Is this for units or is this just for zoning and defense? Another town center, a 4th for our Italian. Hera, by the way, using this super duper cool warrior priest to gather his relics. I'm assuming that's why they're out. There are 2 of them out at the moment. A second relic, obviously the one that was closest, is being held now in the fortified church. As again, yeah, Hera's attack is kind of stalled out. Even though he's had 8 army count, the wall off, the castle, and the monks are enough. And now MbL knows that he's safe to the north, pivots his entire army south. I'm surprised the monks are still kind of not moving around here. And he's exploring with a converted knight. Here is our Italian, who now is going handcart. MbL is really very, very confident that he can hold on here against any kind of aggression, to the point where his economy needs to be roided up at the moment. The knight goes underneath the town center. Villager chases him away, thinks better of it. Not a knight, rather, a scout unit. The knight is still up here. Aw. You think the horses are related? Who knows? Town center guns down the scout that we saw a second ago. And now the bear is activated. You are not a scout unit. I'm going to chase you all the live long day. Actually, 1, 2. Are these the last 2 relics out on the map? Yeah. Hera's going to have 6 relics. MbL's not going to be able to stop this. There's no army here. Okay, maybe there is an army moving, but he's being so cautious with his army. By the way, both players with very diverse army compositions. Our Italian going skirmisher, monk, Genoese crossbow, spearman, and knight. Our Armenian going crossbows, light cavalry, knights, warrior, priest, and spearman. So I'm not too sure what is happening here right now. There doesn't seem to be a cohesive particular game plan for either player, as the cavalry body blocks a villager, gets the 2nd villager kill of the game. Hera now has double the total kill count, and that includes those 2 villagers. And by the way, 6 relics. Absolutely ridiculous. This is why I guess if you're the Huns, playing against the Armenians might actually be worth it. One of the few times in the game to actually get atheism and cut that relic income in half. But Hera, behind economically the entire game, will hit Imperial first, about a minute behind his opponent. What is MbL planning? A big old cavalry transition is what he's planning. He is spending his wood. What is Hera doing? A castle in the center. His army count is narrowing, growing smaller and smaller. Now he's going handcart, but our Italian is housed. Oh no, is he not building houses? No, he's going for a castle with 4 villagers. Oh, it's going to be a long, long time until... Okay, never mind. Now he's building houses, a bit of a suburb in the back of his base. Genoese Ninja Turtle comes out. Look at that beautiful giant Pavice shield on his back. And that should be enough. Hera, by the way, getting decent scouting with these light cavalry units, now knows that there's the Genoese threat that comes with an awesome +5 attack bonus against cavalry. That's just for the base model. I believe... Ooh. I should know this. I believe the elite version jumps up to a +7. For some reason, my brain is also telling me it could be +8, but I think it's +7 attack bonus against cavalry. And the players continue amassing their very, very oddly composed armies. We got heavy plow for one player. We're getting, okay, horsey upgrades for the other. The Italians, not exactly a cavalry civilization. They are missing paladins, but you know what they do get that the Armenians don't? Hussars. Although that being said, he does not even have his scout upgraded to light cav, so we'll see what we're actually going to witness coming out of the Italian stables. I mean, right now, both players until 10 seconds are going to be in Imperial Age, and nobody's really upgrading. I mean, obviously MbL's not upgrading because he's not in Imperial, but aside from the Trebuchet, Hera's army is a Castle Age army. He's got, I mean, sorry, a Castle / Feudal Age army. He's got Spearmen, Crossbow, Knights, Light Cav, and Warrior Priest. Yeah, he's, I think our Italian is definitely going for Hussars, right? He's going up to 16 Light Cavalry. Yeah, now in 40 seconds, they're going to be Light Cavalry. So MbL sitting at, oh my goodness, looks like 52 more population than his opponent. 30 more villagers, 15 more army count. And Hera's transitioning to infantry. Okay, very, very positional unit is infantry. And by what I mean by that is cavalry can run around, dictate the pace of a battle, but infantry, you need to really ball them up and send them into specific locations. Although, that being said, you can use infantry to harass. Perhaps not great harassing units, but you can still harass with infantry, especially if we're lucky enough to see the Feriders upgrade out of our Armenian, which adds 30 HP to their militia line units, and by the way, their warrior priests. Oh no, Hera's losing villagers to the south. He's gonna lose his army here to the north as well, or maybe not. 4 units to 2. Hera does have the thicker units with more HP, but he lures MbL into the town center fire. Now MbL is also pushing into the suburbs as well. This is a lot of army composition, and again, very broadly composed. Bunch of skirmishers to, I guess, ward off any kind of spearman line units. There's Pavice. So we're going to see the armor on the Genoese crossbow, which I believe is the only unit out on the map that is going to benefit from this. I don't see condottieri. I don't see any crossbows or arbalesters. So this entire upgrade is just for the crossbows, who should jump up right now to +2/+2. And Hera clears up the attack inside of his base. Unfortunately for him, he's got this big old army parked outside. He sees it. And fortunately for him, this army doesn't really seem to be doing anything. Did MbL forget that he sent the Legion over here to the north side of Hera's base? Hera's long swordsmen are moving in, and there it is. There's the Hussar upgrade. A composite bowman has shown his face. Is he gonna even lose 1 unit here? Castle with ballistics somehow misses the entire army, even though it was clumped as shit. It still misses all of them and doesn't get a single kill, this castle. I got 1 kill. I think it's one of the light cavalry units, but all of a sudden, what is this? 19, 24, 27 army count has inserted itself into Hera's base. A few more units are coming. What are they going after here? That is a very ambitious get, and he actually gets the villager, but will lose. Immediately loses that cavalry unit. Castle down. How many trebs? 4. There used to be 5 a second ago. We'll keep an eye on what the hell is going on in the rear of Hera's base, but he has lost 25 villagers after getting those first 2 kills. He hasn't gotten a single villager kill. 4 trebs are pushing in, and all of a sudden Hera, who's defending the rear of his base, 1 or 2 more balls and out will go the relics. I guess 3 more balls. There it is. And the skirmishers are absolutely wrecking the crossbows here. He's getting blast furnace. Hera is committing to the infantry route. He's training 11 two-handed swordsmen at a time. Out they pop, but they only have 60 HP. Feriders, as cool, as awesome as an upgrade. It is not a cheap upgrade. 400 gold, and I've been thinking like 500 food. 500 or 600 food, I think. And he just does not have the resources for that right now. Let's take a look at the rear of his base, where these Hussars are still running amok. Now they're fighting Warrior Priest with their double-fisted weapons do get the last Hussar over here, right as the two-handed swordsman kill the last of the Hussars. So, again, Hera has defended, but at what cost? Castle down, relics lost. 2 of them have been pinched. Where are the monks that pinched the relics? Why can't I see it? Oh my goodness, sometimes I miss things. There were 6 relics here, now there's 4. Hussars are raiding to the south as well. All of a sudden, Hera is getting Hera'd, basically. I don't know how else to say it. MbL says, you know what game I like? Uno. And you know the best card in Uno? The reverse Uno card. So I'm just gonna, I know you love to raid with Hussars. I'm gonna do the exact same thing to you right now. What's this infrastructure? Even more stables. 59 villagers on food. 17 seconds away from elite Genoese crossbows. Feriders has been researched. These two-handed swordsmen are at 90 HP, but again, it came at a cost. Now he can't afford champions. And there's another body of Hussars moving into his base. Hera's got to wall his base off entirely. He's got to go full Howard Hughes at the moment. There cannot be a single gap. There cannot be a single missing piece, an empty little tiny part of a bucket. No leaks whatsoever. You have to plug this up, and you have to play so defensively right now, which may or may not be Hera's. I don't know if he's used to playing so defensively when he's the one who usually says, you know what, you're attacking into me. I'm just going to attack right into you right back. That being said, 90 HP two-handed swordsman against Hussars, even ones that are fully upgraded, is a decent fight, because the Hussar attacks on an 11, the swordsman at a 16. And by the way, has 4 melee armor to the, probably the same, no, 3 melee armor of the Hussar. Another another band of Hussars trying to find a way to get into the north, and oh no, 22 Hussars, forget that. 17 Hussars are about to enter into this very, very peaceful farming community, and that's it. Hera says, I can't do this. I can't defend in multiple locations at once, not with infantry, and I have not walled off any portion of my northern settlement. This castle, the villagers are no longer here. It looks like they were they lumberjacking, or were they gathering gold? No, all the gold patches are fully at 800 HP, at 800 gold. And so he wasn't mining gold here at all. And wow, MbL, again, look at the army composition. Hussars, Genoese crossbows, now elite. Let's see if I was right about the 7 attack bonus. Oh, look at that. I do know something. Skirmishers, monks, still has the spearmen from the Feudal Age. 3 trebs and a bombard cannon. Absolutely slamming into the Italian base. And look at this. It's not every day that somebody managed to take 57 villagers off of Hera. Not every day at all. He ends down 12 villagers, and he did manage to get 1 more villager beyond the 2 that he killed initially. But holy moly, MbL. We saw this yesterday with Mr. Yo and Vivi. Now we're seeing it again with MbL and Hera. Are these pro players practicing how to lose villagers and try to win a game? It's possible. Maybe there's some kind of special agreement between these players that I'm not familiar with, that they're discussing on their streams, where it's like, hey, why don't you try to kill as many of my villagers as possible? I don't know if that's really the case. I might just be making things up. I still don't know what a tough it is, but the reality is that Hera got more kills but lost way too much economy, and now he has the resources for, you know, a good amount of infantry units, but he doesn't have that many infantry units, not against double the army count. And all of a sudden, he's going to have Hussars over here. This area is not walled off at all. He's going to have Hussars. And by the way, once MbL sees that it's not walled off, you best believe he's going to put the pedal to the metal. Out of how many stables? 13 stables. Could have been a little bit higher, but 13 is decent. And by the way, only 4 relics. Where are the other 2? Did Hera manage to take back 2 relics? Somewhere. Oh, then never mind. MbL's shuffling them Mr. Yo style in the middle of the battle. So Hera loses all of his relics. He loses map control. He loses his center castle, and he loses the ability to defend against a very fast, very agile army. And believe me, Hera has been on the other side of this so many times. He's been the one raiding with Hussars so many times. He knows exactly how painful it is, how hard it is to defend against it, especially when you're not walled off, especially when you're completely open. And although the Italian Hussar, nothing particularly special about this unit. It does, for a generic Hussar, it's about as good as you're going to get. Has all the stable techs, has all the blacksmith techs, and the only thing it doesn't have is any special unique features. For example, like the Turkish Hussar with the extra pierce armor. That doesn't really matter. It matters not even one bit, because this is exposed, this is exposed, and this is exposed. And if the villagers are running into the town centers, they're not gathering resources. And if they're gathering resources, they're dying. And I think Hera knows that. He lives to fight another day, taps out 136 Hussars to 80 two-handed swordsmen, crossbows to skirmishers. So whatever way you look at it, MbL has countered his opponent. Genoese to knights, skirmisher to our crossbow, and then Hussars basically, again, this is I don't know who wins this battle, to be honest. The upgrades are fantastic for both units. I would love to see, maybe Mike's Empire can do a video on this, but 136 Hussars to 79. Hera is essentially, yeah, he's out of time, is the bottom line. MbL with a very relaxed APM. Hera with his usual 200 to 300. Middle of the game, beginning of the game for MbL. How bad do we think the economy is? Oh man, almost 25% ahead. And without the relics, even more. Without the relics, it'd be 48 to 62, which is about 30%, just under 30% bigger economy for our Italian, who surprisingly does not lead in the stone income, despite having 6,000 more wood, 7,000 more food. And look at the gold income, basically identical. Amazing, amazing. 4 conversions out of 133, about 3%. Not really playing a role. Raisings are decent, 14 to 2. Not the longest game in the world, 46 minutes. But again, Hera just knows. He's been on the giving end of this. Now that he's on the receiving end, he knows exactly how painful and annoying this is to deal with. And so realizes with the infantry not that mobile, he might take out the Hussars, he might not. Again, stacking them one right next to the other. HP is almost identical, but the Hussar attacks on an 11 to the 16. This guy has 4 melee armor to 3. Attack speed should be roughly identical, 1.9 to 2. And so that 5 extra HP on the Hussar, I don't think are going to help him very much. So this is a fight that I think the swordsman will take. And maybe Hera can buy some time with the gold mining over here to get up to champions and then start pumping out champions. But I don't think that's even possible. He's got 5 barracks. He's going to lose these 3, which leave him with 2, because there are Trebs here. And now there's going to be a bombard cannon as well. And Hera just says, you know what, enough's enough. I've taken too much of a punishment. You've killed 57 of my villagers. I can't do everything all at once at this point. And so even though I've got 2 castles, even though I still have 5 barracks for now, for literally another minute, you are just everywhere all at once, and I cannot handle it. Lives to fight another day, like I said, taps out. And it is MbL, our Italian in orange, who takes the W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.